If the exile has come here, then he has not come alone.
Of course, apprentice. The huntress is with the exile. She has a special talent for finding that which should remain lost. It also makes her difficult for me to sense, but not to a creature bred for such things.
Shall I send the assassins for her?
No, I have brought a beast to Malachor to deal with that one. If she survives, she will become stronger for it.
Well, here's a surprise. Yet another slice of galactic paradise. Why can't we ever go to Alderaan or Ithor or someplace without metal, jagged rocks, or packs of bloodthirsty beasts?
watching this, and what the General suspected was true. The Sith are striking from the graveyard of Malachor 5. The ship the Sith Lord was on was one of the vessels damaged in that final battle. If you reach Malachor's surface, the mass shadow generator can be undone, provided there are enough vessels intact within the orbiting debris or buried in the planet's surface. Use the sequence I am unlocking in your memory banks on the engine core of any vessel you encounter on Malachor. If my calculations are correct, 4 vessels should be enough to power up the mass shadow generator and undo the damage that was done in Malachor 5, the damage I did. Once the sequence has begun, it cannot be stopped. So make sure the General is off the planet before triggering the sequence. Otherwise, there will be no retreat. I know your weapons systems are minimal, and I don't know what awaits you on Malachor's surface. Try to avoid contact with any potential threats. Follow your programming. I have one last command for you. You must remain behind and ensure that the sequence fires properly once the General gives the command. If not, then all we have fought for has been for nothing. You have done all I asked, all you were built for, and for that, I thank you.
Touching. The probability of the Iridonian installing trigger commands within your core was high. I see the probabilities have played out. Of course, the probability that I would do the same is equally high. Your inability to move right now is evidence of that. If the General issues a command, only I will be here to receive it. You realize I cannot permit you or the Exile to activate the mass shadow generator here on Malachor. In that, your programming and mine conflict. And since you have no offensive weaponry to speak of, the probability of your programming overriding mine is low. You must understand that the General would not wish the relics or the Sith strength here on Malachor to be compromised. Their presence is needed to stabilize the galaxy. Without them, the galaxy would be reduced to anarchy within years. And if there is anything I can't stand, it's an untidy galaxy. So, let us wait here, you and I, for the General's orders, and the fate of the galaxy shall wait with us.
When the exile enters Kreia's academy, he will be faced with a choice. Show him every respect when he arrives in these halls, Lord Sion. This I command you.
You've come to die like the Jedi before you. This planet is a graveyard for your kind. She thinks you should be spared, but only so you might suffer. You will break, and when you do, you will die. Why she would bother with one such as you is something I will never understand. It is ancient. A relic that survived the destruction of Malachor. It was always here, far before the Mandalorian Wars. It draws death and hate to it, channels it, atrocities feed its power, and with its power, it creates hunger. Many Jedi have been consumed by it. Then it shall be proof that you are not the one she seeks, and she shall accept my loyalty again. You are wrong. I have come farther than any of her apprentices since Revan, even you, and I am stronger for it. You seek to erode my will. You will not succeed. I am ready for you, exile. I have waited years to see the last of the Jedi fall before me. Only one may serve my master. the dark side. As long as the dark places of this world flow through the cracks of my flesh, I cannot be killed. You're strong. Perhaps she was correct about you. But you cannot kill me. She knows this. There is no life without the Force. The Force is a blade. Without it, one is defenseless. The Force is pain. The Force is focus. The Force is that which drives the strong and kills the weak. I shall teach you this, and in so doing spare you the pain that awaits. You are the one who will fall. Die, Jedi. there is truth in your words, but there is nothing left for me except my master. I fight because it is the power that the Force fills me with. To survive, to inflict the pain on others. I can die 100 times exile and still I will rise again as strong as before. I will not fall. I cannot die. Why did she choose you? What makes you able to defeat me? Defeat me here? Kreia, she will try to break you, to teach you how far someone can fall. Her weakness is you. She has done all this, all of it, for you. I am glad to leave this place, at last.
At last you have arrived. Is Malachor as you remember? You no doubt have many questions. I would be a poor teacher if I did not give you the answers you seek here now. I never destroyed Atris. She had destroyed herself. I merely stripped away the illusion and brought her truth. Her teachings could not be allowed to continue, and like Malachor, she was part of your past, unresolved. She needed to be something you could confront and defeat one last time. It was part of your training, part of what was needed to make you complete. And there must always be a Darth Treya. The galaxy needs its betrayers, especially in the times to come. She loved you, you know, as one loves a champion. You were all that she could not be. Of course, let us speak no more of such things. We shall let the dead lie as the dead lie upon Malachor. More talk of machines and threats. If you would end Malachor, then do it. But it will not be a victory for you. And of course you must be willing to die, to kill us all, and your friends. You may hold Malachor in your grasp, but I hold the answers to your past and future in mine. Would you destroy us both before learning them? If so, then do it, for you have already failed me. It is said that the Force has a will. It has a destiny for us all. I wield it, but it uses us all, and that is abhorrent to me, because I hate the Force. I hate that it seems to have a will, that it would control us to achieve some measure of balance when countless lives are lost. But in you, I see the potential to see the Force die, to turn away from its will, and that is what pleases me. You are beautiful to me, exile. A dead spot in the Force, an emptiness in which its will might be denied. I use it as I would use a poison, and in the hopes of understanding it, I will learn the way to kill it. But perhaps these are the excuses of an old woman who has grown to rely on a thing she despises. Perhaps you were expecting some surprise, for me to reveal a secret that had eluded you, something that would change your perspective of events, shatter you to your core. There is no great revelation, no great secret. There is only you. No, there were not. In times past and in times future, there are Jedi who will stop listening to the Force, those that will try to forget it but maintain unconscious ties, and those, as in the past, just as I, who have had the Force stripped from them. But no Jedi ever made the choice you did, to sever ties so completely, so utterly, that it leaves a wound in the Force. It was a mistake to try to make you feel it again, I see that now. There is no truth in the Force, but there is truth in you, exile, and that is why I chose you. The apprentice must kill the master. If you do not, I will kill you. If I do not, then all you have achieved will be as nothing, as empty and as violent as Malachor itself. Then you will break, and then, my apprentice, you shall die. I have thought of this moment more than you know, and I wondered if here, at this ending between us, if you would care enough to try to save me, if a Jedi could find it within themselves to spare one who has fallen so far. I wanted you to say those words. For that I am grateful. But I do not want your mercy. I want you to break. Indeed. Perhaps it is merely your perceptions of me that have changed. It is strange that you believe Malachor has not. But it has always been timeless to you, this place, and words have always been inadequate for the horrors that took place here. I know, but there is more than death in this galaxy, and you shall not find it easy. It was difficult to draw you here, but it had to be done. This place is your last test. It is the graveyard of the past, where you lost everything. It is the dark place in your mind that still echoes of failure. Now we shall see if you can overcome the weight of Malachor and silence the echoes that beat from its heart. If you do not kill me, I shall end you. Strike me down. End this. You will not show me mercy. I will see you break before you do. By killing me here, you have rewarded me more than you can possibly know. Save me? You already have. It is enough what you have done, from now into the future. Many things do I see as I gaze here from the heart of Malachor. This place channels such energies. If it matters to you at this last moment, I shall look into the future and tell you of what I see. It is my last gift to you, from one exile to another. You travel with them for so long, yet you do not know them still. Feel them through the Force, feel what they feel, hear their thoughts and know them as I fought to know you. They were the lost Jedi, you know, the true Jedi upon which the future will be built. They simply needed a leader and a teacher. She will stop hunting life and instead live it. She was not born to be a predator, despite her true father. and the life she led within the shadow of Nar Shaddaa. She will miss you and think of you often. You who awakened her to what life is. She will live, but only for a time. Her death will occur in many years' time on a forgotten planet, saving the lives of others. But it will be her choice, and she will have no regrets. Many battles does that one have left in him, as Revan intended. A general needs an army as he needs those he trusts. And Canderous is a loyal beast, no matter how much he is broken upon Revan's will. But you know this. They will die a death that will last millennia, until all that remains is their code, their history, and in the end the shell of their armor upon the shell of a man too easily slain by Jedi. The blinded one shall return to her home world, and as she looked upon you, she shall look upon the surface of that world, and perhaps at last see what she was meant to see. After that I do not know. I do know that you must leave her behind. Where you are destined, you must not take anyone you love. It was Revan's choice as well. If she leaves this place, she will leave battle behind her, in no small part due to your influence. She will take Atris's role as historian and teach others of the Jedi exile who gave up the Force and became stronger for it. Atten is, as always, the fool, and the Force watches out for one such as him, I feel, as it does for the old such as I would have killed the galaxy to preserve you. I would have let the galaxy die. You are more rare than you know, and what you have taught yourself must not be allowed to die. You are not a Jedi, not truly, and it is for that that I love you. Their paths are unknown to me, even the small one who waits for you outside this place. I sense it has one last journey for you. You must go where Revan did, into the unknown regions, where the Sith, the true Sith, wait in the dark for the great war that comes. It is because he remembered what lay buried here, this place, its teachings. It paved the way to Korriban, you know, the remnants here. And because Malachor, like Korriban, is on the fringes of the ancient Sith Empire, where the Sith wait for us in the dark. Have we? You thought that the corrupted remnants of the Republic, the machines spawned by technology that Revan led into battle, were the Sith? You are wrong. The Sith is a belief, and its empire, the true Sith Empire, rules elsewhere. And Revan knew that the true war is not against the Republic. It waits for us beyond the Outer Rim, and he has gone to fight it in his own way. And he left the Ebon Hawk and all its machines behind, for he knew he would not need them. And like you, he knew he must leave all loves behind as well, no matter how deeply one cares for them. Because such attachments are not the way of the Jedi, and they would only bring doom to them both in the dark places where he now walks. It would have helped had he made her understand, but she was always strong-willed, that one, and did not understand war as Revan did. Because I did not know where he had gone. If he had asked, would I have gone? I do not know. But he will need warriors, Sith and Jedi, any who can be sent after him into the depths of space, for any who know the way. Perhaps you shall go there with him and do battle at the end of all things. Instead, I remained here, and now show others the way. The Republic will fall, as it always has, a fall that will take millennia, under the care of the herds of Ithor. The surface of Telos will bloom again, and its golden fields shall again harbor scientists and thinkers. And complacent and peaceful, it shall forget the time that Saul Karath orbited it and brought fire to its skies. but it shall be a home world again to others who will stretch out across the galaxy and bring life.